For the vector tracing, you're supposed to take a pixel-based image and scan that in or find it online and vector trace it using Illustrator. So that's exactly what I did. I did a scan of a sketch that I made, and I'm going to attempt to vector trace it in Photoshop. So here's the scan. I'm trying to do like a little like crest symbol type thing of our family with different letters representing different members of the family. I'm just trying to make it look cool, just a one color design. So that's the sketch that I just kind of drew out real quick, and I'm going to use that as my basis for the vector tracing. So all I did was I scanned this photo in, and it's a JPEG. I opened it directly in Illustrator, just like this, and I'm going to use this as like a template to trace over. So if you go to your layers palette here, you're going to double click on the layers palette and make it a template layer. It automatically locks it and dims it, so you can use it as an idea to trace over. Then you're going to make a new layer for each new color that you're going to be adding into your design. Now it's just a matter of me kind of tracing out my object and making it look as close as possible to the original. So this is the color I want, a solid black and white, and I want to start tracing the other objects or subtracting those other objects away from this piece. This is where it gets a little tricky. It's a solid color right now. I can't obviously see through this, but you have something called outline mode, which allows you to see this just in outlines, but you still see your image then. So if I switch to outline mode, and you can do that by going Command Y on your keyboard, or by going up here, View, switch between Preview and Outline mode. It lets you kind of see your design. So now I'm going to use my pen tool to trace out some of these other objects. Now I know I'm going past this shape because I'm going to subtract from it. So I'm just going to kind of trace out the M first. I know I want it to be points like this. And a lot of this stuff I can adjust later on if I don't like the look of it. Now my sketch, if you're tracing like a logo or something like that, you want to try to sketch exactly how it looks or trace exactly how it looks. This was a sketch, so I have some freedom as far as what I want to do to my shape. So I know I want to subtract this from my object. I'm going to use my Pathfinders tool, subtract the M away from the oval. If I switch back to Command Y, you can start to see some of that stuff take place. Okay. And I can decide if I like the way this looks or if I want to make adjustments. Maybe I decide, you know what, this needs to be changed a little bit. I need to kind of adjust my anchor points on these shapes just to make it look a little bit better. Oops. So you're going to be doing a lot of adjustments with your anchor points and your tools. Okay. So far so good. Go back to my layer, turn it on, switch back to outline mode so I can see what's going on here. Trace out this L. It's really an upside down L that I made. Just so I felt like the L would fit better upside down like that. And again, I'm going to subtract it with my Pathfinders. Where did that go? There it is. Kind of a tight space here. Okay. And so on and so forth. You kind of get the idea. I'll do one more just so you can kind of see it. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. But that's how you do a vector tracing. The key thing is to give yourself a template layer and make your JPEG image on that template layer, and then draw everything else on a new layer and use your outline mode so that you can see the difference between the two. You can also use your Eyedropper tool, which is kind of a nice feature. If your logo that you're tracing has color, you can sample the color from the template layer and it'll match the colors for you too. Okay, so that's vector tracing. Same thing. When this is done, then you would save this and place it into that final InDesign document along with your original before picture. Good luck.